Okay, we're still here. Welcome to the No Goat Show with my esteemed colleague. I mean, a seriously esteemed colleague. And I'm not, even though I'm saying that with a bit of a joke in my voice, I mean it from the depths of my heart. Bring on two, we have Richard Dangerous Wollstonecroft. Oh, that's it. New nickname for Damien. He simply can't get COVID, so we think he's the one that's spreading it. So we're calling him Delta Damien.
Yep, sorry. Typhoid
Mary.
No,
there's a new one. There's a new one from South Africa. It's called
let's talk about that. And of course, how could we do the No Go Show?
You can just call me Omicron.
Omicron, that's it. Thank you, my friend.
Omicron. Kneel before Omicron.
Now we'll be kneeling before it sooner than you.
Whatever the hell it is. Is that it? Have I got it right? Can't remember.
I know. We've got a new
We have had one small criticism about the No Goat Show. People love it, but they say that we all talk at once.
Now, hang on a second. What do you mean? That's an outrage. I can't believe you say that. Oh.
No, that wasn't the criticism.
I thought, well, who cares?
I actually had somebody say to me last night in Benders that they like that. That's one of their favourite parts of the show, is that we talk over the top of each other and it's pure mayhem. Okay? I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying there are different points of view.
Now, I have to say
probably illegal.
David's up and about tonight. I reckon David is up and about tonight.
I am ready to rumble, mate.
Now, David, before we talk about Bendigo and everywhere else, you came to the march today?
Yes, I was there the whole time. Yep.
Wow,
yep.
What do you think?
Well, look, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Shit ton of people. I couldn't tell you how many people, but an absolute shit ton of people. And amazing. What I really took in today, I mean, apart from the people who were fantastic, I loved it, but all the amazing signs, I mean, I was just like seeing all these fantastic signs. Yeah. My favorite, the one that won the day for me, was that guy standing on top of the tram stop there. I saw it some stage with unvaxxed sperm is the new Bitcoin. That was the gold medalist for me, There was another one I saw that I really liked, which was Vox Populi, Vox Dei, which, if my Latin's all right, I translate as the voice of the people is the voice of God. And I thought, well, this is actually what we saw today. We saw the voice of the people in all their many shades and their many hues and their many walks of life and their many opinions. I thought it was magical, actually. Yeah.
Well, the other amazing thing, I just did an interview with some people that's going on live tomorrow with Barry, who came to Bendigo. So we interviewed some people before his camera ran out. And I interviewed this woman that was holding up a proverb and the whole thing was written out which one it was. And I said to her, so, which religion did you grow up with, the Catholic or this? She goes, no, atheism. I said, what? Atheism? She goes, yeah. And she said, and a friend said, yeah, in the last 2 years, she's found God because she thinks it's holy war. But I also found...
By his hand.
I found the Nazi.
Great Awakening.
Here he is.
The new dawn.
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah.
They said they were
that hand was extended before.
There he is.
Yep.
Nazi Santa.
To be fair, I saw a lot of far right extremists there today. A lot of white supremacists. I saw Indian white supremacists. I saw Asian ones. A lot of Sri Lankans, Malaysian. All these. What place is crawling with? I don't know, 700,000 white supremacists, as far as I can see.
Everywhere.
They're
everywhere. Spreading.
Like little kids, little 2-3-year-old kids,
They're
right there. There's one. I saw him.
White supremacist.
There's another one.
That's different. Nazi.
Nazi.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Right there.
So,
was it bigger than last week, do you think, today? What are your opinions on that?
Yes.
I think it was. So, yeah.
Apparently,
it was huge.
Monica Schmidt's saying 700,000.
She was up in the whirlybird. See that? She was fighting around with that Jonas fellow and having a little whirlybird afternoon. That was interesting.
Oh, we had a discussion about that in the car.
Her fiance.
I was like, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's Morgan.
Right,
What's his
discussion here, but yeah.
Morgan Jonas. Morgan
Jonas.
Jonas.
Oh, and I saw
No,
I saw
C.
Moses there on the corner of is it St. Paul's, the one opposite Flinders Street Station? Did you see Moses?
I saw Moses, and he was there last week. But this week, the problem with Moses this week, he was coming up the rear. I said to him, Moses,
we always got to watch that with Moses.
Coming up the back.
Hang on. Yeah. Is that some kink of yours, Damo? Or should we just leave that?
Not at all. That was I wasn't dressed up as Moses, mate. I was not dressed up as Moses.
Yeah. No, Moses.
Hey, can I be a little bit controversial? Can I be a little bit controversial?
Yes.
I want to be a little bit controversial.
I beg of you.
I think honest.
Oh.
It is a predominantly Anglo-Saxon crowd.
What are you going to do?
There is some outliers. There's definitely some outliers.
They come out in packs.
I talked to a guy who was getting signatures. He was a Chinese guy, and he was getting signatures to stop the CCP from entering Australia. And I love that. And I asked him, and I said to him, what do you think it is that there's not more? Because there's 1.2 million Chinese or Chinese descent people living in Australia. They're certainly not represented in today's crowd.
Well, they follow Beijing's orders, mate. That's simple.
Well, this is it. Well, I talked to him about that, and he said that, and there's a lot of infiltration in the universities
they were
too.
photographed on the street. When China takes over, they're going to be in trouble. So,
that's right. And I think even before that, because he was saying there's actually a lot of... No,
they're
Richard, he was saying...
for freedom. I think they do support freedom, and they support capitalism, definitely. They're not too fond of the Chinese Communist Party, but I'm not sure they want to be caught on camera. Some of them have family back in China as well, and that will get them in trouble. I mean,
I've got a Chinese woman who I've been writing articles, and she's rewriting them. She's she's from Taiwan. She's been rewriting them, and she said the Chinese watch the footage, and if one of them appear here, all of their family back in China suffer.
Exactly, that's what happens, and that's why you're not seeing them, because I think you would see them.
You know,
this guy also said that there's a lot of spies here already. There's a lot of spies really infiltrated.
So you know that thing that goes on your credit score? So imagine you're in China and you show us your credit score goes down because your second cousin, who you can't even remember turns up and does a spot on our show. So
this is what's dangerous.
But it's an issue. It's an issue. It's an issue that needs to be talked about, I believe, because it's glaring. It's glaringly obvious. And also, I would mention the Indian diaspora. Again, there's some anomalies, there's some outliers, but predominantly the Rukshan being the huge one. I mean, Sri Lankan, but nonetheless, the Melbourne I walk around in day to day, I see Indians all the time. At these events, I see very, very, very few.
India is a different kind of government to China. I'm not sure that the government would, ostracize the family if they have. They all have family back home, obviously, and I'm not sure they would be ostracized because of that. Because if anything, India and China are engaged in a kind of Cold War.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the hot war,
which turns hot around the border every now and then.
All new recent immigrants are going to be a bit worried about the impacts back home, and that's possibly why you're seeing a lot more kind of Anglo Aussies and stuff. But also too, it might have something to do with the fact that many of us have been living here longer. We know our values, and that we see them being lost, and we're kind of pissed off about it.
Is that trouble for the movement that these demographics aren't
as much
represented? Damo, with all respect, Damo, I don't agree, and I'm not trying to score.
I have to say too, Damo, I don't agree at all.
I mean, maybe it was where you were in the market.
I challenge you. I challenge you to look at the footage and not agree. I challenge you to look at the footage and not agree. There are some outliers, definitely. Yeah. But that's not the Melbourne I see.
Indian people who looked Indian, looked Sri Lankan, Asians, Koreans. I saw some Korean people.
People here, like a lot of the people doing Ubers, are actually not Australian citizens, so they may be scared that they're going to have their citizenship revoked, or they haven't got that across yet, and stuff like this. I mean, I had the compliance enforcement COVID response here today. For some reason, they want to see me next week. So I've had I was talking to a guy today, had a dance school. He's refusing to open it. He had these Stasi people at his door saying, we want to talk to you. If we had a complaint, you're not testing people coming in. He goes, how can I test people coming in? I've never opened a joint. He's actually going to come on and talk about it. So they're intimidating him. I had another business person that they said to him, we've got complaints. They won't tell you who it's from. So there's a lot of intimidation going out there. So, yeah.
What do you think they're going to hassle you about, Michael?
Don't know. We'll find out. So
right.
So we'll find out next Monday. And, so we'll see. It's I've no idea. In fact, it's more like going, what all the things it could be about. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Pick a number.
Look, I did see
number one for Mickleham. Look, we need someone to be the first, and we need someone to try it out.
Number two is Mickleham, and three. No. Number. If you pick number three, it's Mickleham.
Going back.
No, I just thought the number on his back was going to be 0001. You know, your first in.
It's like a Squid Game, mate. Squid Game. He'll be number one, and you know.
But going back to the Chinese, I think the lesson there to learn is once they have that totalitarianistic system in place, that's the fear you live under. So basically, say it's here, you go to London, Damien, and you go to a protest in London, and over here, us three get in a load of trouble because we're associated with you, and that's how they do control.
We're already in trouble associating with Damo, don't worry.
And how easily they can do it. They've got the facial recognition
locally.
China can probably already access it here. So they're doing the crowd. They find someone, look, there's what's his name, and bang, the people in China are already. So I think that's the thing. I've actually.
I think it's really something interesting to talk about, Michael. I agree. I
had a Chinese woman wanting to come on, and she wanted a voice hidden and a thing, and she was really angry. I actually did an interview with her, but there was something wrong with the audio as usual. But I might see if I can get it back on again because she.
Chinese have come here to escape communism, and they don't like to see it being built around them.
That's what she did, yeah. You know, so they that's what they did. So it was really interesting.
There's a lot of Eastern Europeans there too. I will say that there is a lot of Eastern Europeans.
They lived through it, mate, didn't they, David? You know.
Yeah. Lots of Hungarians today. I met a load of Hungarians who were talking about how the Russians came in with tanks and basically crushed in, I think it was 1950 or 1958 or 1968, one of those, and basically just killed loads of people to crush that rebellion. So
and I think there's a tendency for us, particularly us guys, because we know the criticism that be leveled at us, that it's white supremacists and stuff. So it becomes really important for us to say, no, there was so many other people there and stuff. And there is other people there. I'm not saying that, not for a minute, but we can blind ourselves because of that, our sensitivity of that to that criticism. We can blind ourselves to a truth that we might need to look at so we can actually discuss it. Like these things that have even come up now about why the Chinese may choose not to attend a rally like today. So I think it's a really valuable conversation to have.
It could be a Chinese agenda, you know. It could be a Chinese geopolitical agenda.
It.
Yeah, I mean, working with
putting 400 million more cameras in China, so that's where we're heading to.
Level of control
everywhere.
Terrifying.
You know?
Terrifying.
Yes, really terrifying. Really terrifying.
Can we talk about the Aboriginal situation? Did we get to the bottom of that this week? Because there are various allegations that things were going on. Did you do some other?
So polar opposite, isn't it? You've got these Indigenous people here going, no, it's fine, everything's good, it's a crime against humanity that they're comparing this to the stolen generation. And then you got on this side, you've got these people going, no, we need help, please come and save us.
Yeah, it does seem like there has been a problem, but it seems that this often happens with Liberal and Labor, particularly with Aboriginal issues. They act in a very patriarchal and paternal way towards them, and they bring down a kind of media, cone of silence, kind of get smart kind of situation over it to try and shut it up. And they all have their spokespersons on both sides, who just kind of push the party line, So I'm not entirely sure, but it did seem like something was definitely going on. It maybe was not as big as it first seemed, but it seemed like they were definitely force vaccinating some people and also quarantining against their will others, possibly.
Well, we interviewed Auntie June, I think it was, in a crazy interview. I mean, she didn't turn up for half an hour. Couldn't get
I tried to watch that show, but she wasn't there.
Yeah, it's just nuts. And then she came on, and she took it on my phone. And then, she had to admit she hadn't heard anything. She didn't have anything to offer. It was all hearsay that she was saying.
And there's a huge Indigenous voice today. Most of the speakers to start with, anyway, were definitely of Indigenous background, and
yeah. So I really don't know.
As to the Northern Territory situation, look, I don't know. It's interesting that stuff goes international very quickly. The first thing I heard about it was people from the US sending me that stuff, so that's, I mean, I don't know. I don't have any direct information from on the ground. I do think it's interesting if in hypothetically, in theory, that if they were going to start doing that kind of operation, that would be an interesting place for them to start, and test that out. If they were testing the waters, I'm just hypothesizing, but if they were to test the waters, that would be a very interesting way for them to do.
That's what people were scared of. People were vigilant, thinking, "Is that something happening there?" That's ever vigilant now because we're expecting it. There's so how do people find today with the different organisers compared to last week's protest? That's someone there. The speakers were better. I hear Topher bought speakers. Then he asked for donations to pay for the speakers. So the speakers were much better. The speakers themselves, like the
physical speakers, not
the physical speakers,
the oral speakers.
Serious subs going on.
Yes, that's it.
Stage, and you're just telling what you want to say, and you don't care about the audience. It's called masturbation. That's what it is. Boring. Oh my God! People were leaving in droves.
The speakers.
Sure.
I tried to lead a push to the ABC. I tried. It was valiant. I was valiant. But,
look, somebody
occupy the ABC, eh?
Yeah, well, it would be a good start.
At least the front of it.
Somebody made a very interesting suggestion to me as we were walking along. They said, look, if there's 700,000 people there, that's what people were guessing. I don't know, but let's just say there's 700,000 people there. This is what they suggested to me. I'm not saying I endorse it necessarily, of course, but the suggestion was that on Tuesday, when we know they're going to try and pass their horrendous totalitarian bill, if you've got 700 people, available, you could theoretically surround Parliament House and block all access so that their lobster and caviar couldn't come in.
The rubber bullets will come back out.
They tend not to come in such numbers on a Tuesday.
He hired the sound system.
Anyway, I thought that was an interesting suggestion. Not that I endorse it necessarily.
No, that suggestion has been made quite a bit. I think that will actually happen. Whether 700,000 people turn up to do it will be another thing, because normally there's not that many on a Tuesday, but maybe there would be during the week if they thought they were doing it to
try and make Monday night, or Tuesday they might go the bill all night. So Monday night or Tuesday night might be the sleepover. I was going to sleep over one night. I might try to do it that night. But apparently it's pretty tough going. I talked to people. It's pretty tough to sleep there. So, but it'd be an interesting thing.
Steps
to do.
Are pretty hard.
Yeah.
Near
and the 20-year-olds are finding it hard. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Get a room. What's the name of that fancy hotel across the road? Get a room there, mate.
The Windsor. Over at the Windsor there. Very nice.
4 rooms at the Windsor, please.
Couldn't we share the same room? Come on.
Look at them.
Get ready for Mickleham.
Sleeping rough. Oh, how charming of them. What a lovely bunch.
We can pretend to have slept there and then go back to the Windsor.
Another thing, David, and we'll get to Bendigo in a sec. I think when the next time we have demonstrations, I think we should demonstrate outside the Salvation Army and outside the St. Vincent de Paul head offices and demand that they live up to the teaching procedures and let the poor in, because they're not letting the poor in to their stores, and the poor now are the unvaxxed. It's unconscionable. It's sacrilegious, actually.
Absolutely, and I mean the churches as well. The churches. I mean, they're rejecting people. I mean, hello, parable of the lepers, or what? I mean, Hello, seriously, guys.
Well, what do we think then what do we think with Perrottet in New South Wales saying by December the 15th, if they reach 95% jab, they're letting it go. But even if they don't, by December the 15th, they're letting all those mandates go. They're holding on to very few, like if there's a huge...
That would be good if that happens, obviously.
But concert or something.
I don't believe them. I don't believe them.
He won't believe it. But I think maybe that will happen in New South Wales. But obviously, as Dave and I were joking at the beginning of the show, Omicron is here, and that's going to lock us down next winter. I'll tell you that right now. So regardless, so that's why they want the powers. This new variant thing is just going to be a yearly. Last year was.
Can I just say about this Omicron bullshit? All right, it sounds like a rejected Marvel movie script. You know what I mean? It sounds
like a Doctor Who villain.
This whole thing's
fucking low rent. All right. Omicron. It's fucking Hydra in the third fucking sequel. Do you know what I mean? It sounds really fucking low rent.
Game.
Who the fuck would believe this shit? Is that the best they can come up with? Omicron. Oh,
unbelievable.
What would you call it, David? What would you call it?
Horse shit. That's what I'd call it.
Horse shit.
Yeah.
They're saving Omega. You know that. We're going to get the Omega strain one day.
What have they said about Omicron? I mean, where's it from? What's it done? What's
South Africa,
Michael, roll it back. It's very fucking scary, Michael. It's very fucking scary, right? You need your fucking details, your fucking backstory, all right? It's the third sequel, and it's called fucking Omicron, all right? Jesus Christ, mate.
So is it like related to Ebola? Is it like a second cousin or
Omicron? I think is the 13th letter in the Greek alphabet. So they got 26. How many they've used? They've used 2 or 3 so far. So they've got at least
13. Why did they skip letter number 4?
It's typical that they wouldn't do it in alphabetical order. They'd mix it around just to confuse us, just so we don't know what's coming next.
It's going to add up to 666 in the end. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's the 13th because that's it's like a rejected sequel fucking script from a shitty fucking horror movie. It's bad. I mean, really. Come on.
What happened to La Bamba?
I think La Bamba was one we made up, Michael. I think we were just joking one time. I think La Bamba was one of ours, mate. Yeah. It somehow worked its way. It worked its way into the lexicon. Let's see if we can make one up. Let's make La Bamba up. That's great. Work it into the lexicon. No, we had La Bamba.
La Bamba is La Bamba.
Hey, I wanted to get back to the voice of the people is the voice of God for a second. Also, apart from all the fantastic signs that we saw today, which I loved, it was the voice of the people, and I love them. Also, as you would have noticed, heaps of people were handing stuff out. All sorts of stuff, all sorts of different things. All sorts of marginal, ideas and everything. Which honestly, I love it all. I love it all because it's the voice of the people, And so people give me all sorts of stuff. I don't have it all with me. Some of it's in my jacket, but people are giving me things like this thing. I don't know if you can see it. This thing. Hang on, can you see it? I'll read it out to you. I really like this. It's a little laminated card thing. It says "Dickhead of the Year," silver medalist. It's a picture of Brett Sutton. I'm trying to make it so you can see it. All right. And then the flip side is Dickhead of the Year, gold medalist. Yes, it's Stammen Dan. Stammen Dan.
I had a handmade stitched love heart, and the girl had made hundreds of them, and she was going around handing them out. She saw me, she wanted one. I thought it was beautiful.
A guy gave us handwritten sections of scripture, all handwritten. He was giving them out. He'd handwritten hundreds of them.
Praise be.
All sorts of stuff. I love it. It's the voice of the people. I love it.
Absolutely. And should we talk about Ballarat yesterday as well? Because that was a big success.
No, we were in Bendigo, mate. I don't know where you were.
Sorry, Bendigo. We're talking about
Ballarat next week, so let's talk about Bendigo. So we went to Bendigo. We stopped at David's, had a great lunch.
I got this wife,
very attractive wife, David. Really like her, intelligent, clever. Yeah,
Someone gave me this one.
Thank you,
Dan.
Yeah.
Hang on, what's Damo got? What's Damo got?
Well, I'm just gonna. Well, I was trying to keep him going. What you said before. Sorry, I'm going backwards a bit, but I got this one. Someone gave me this one today. Dictator Dan. Not exactly sure what it says, but it's a fine film.
Freedom under my watch.
Freedom under
That
my
looks pro
watch.
Dan. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so there's lots of stuff.
So we went to, then we went to Bendigo, and we literally had no idea. And Damien went off to get food, and I was setting up with Barry. Barry's the our tech guy. Now he's worked for all the BBC and these things, and he's just a terrific guy. I'm going to bring a picture of him. He's such a terrific guy, and suddenly, as we're doing it, all these people are turning up. And they're coming, and we're going, oh,
it's a great turn up. Great turn up for a country town. Great turn up.
300 people. Very nice.
Yeah, and then I thought, okay, well, let's go live and then interview them. And then I'm thinking, where's Damien? Damien turns up like, mouthful
of kebab.
David did that deliberately.
Yeah.
David deliberately.
Look, I'm going to come clean.
He wants to be the co-host.
Damo. I totally want to sideline Damo. All right. I sent him off to the shops. I briefed the people in the kebab shop. Just hold him up as long as you can. Okay.
And I had to basically walk back to Castle Maine, somewhere near Castle Maine. This bloody kebab shop.
Yeah, well, what you think? I didn't plan that, Damo. Sorry, mate, but I'm just trying to undercut you, buddy. Anyway, it's nothing personal. It's showbiz.
This is the beauty of the show. So he turns up, he's got lettuce all over his beard, and he's going, "What? We're going live now?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm hungry. Come on, you go grab someone from the crowd. You interview them next." And he's like, "Yeah, right." And that's the show. And we made it like 5 minutes to go, and it worked. You interviewed someone. Richard interviewed someone, but it really worked, and it was so moving. I don't know what I haven't seen it yet to see who Damien.
I've had a lot of great feedback from locals. A lot of great feedback from locals who were really thankful that it happened, felt really appreciated, and really were really moved by the stories. Actually, a lot of good local feedback.
We're like a traveling caravan of healing. We're a traveling caravan of healing. It's strange.
That's Barry.
He's worked for the BBC, the ABC, everything like this. That guy here is a masseuse or a vibrating masseuse here or something.
Vibrator.
I don't want to put him down. He said something like that. I was tired. I didn't get it all in. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
And then the magic thing was, I'll bring this up here. So we're just doing this and we're going on, and we did it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's amazingly tiring. I was watching Damien. It's you get tiring because you're taking in. You can't help taking in this pain, and it's a lot of pain. These people are getting really angry. Like this one woman I interviewed who doesn't do Facebook is going, and so then she goes about the vaccine, and I said, look, you can't really say that. You get us kicked off. Why can't I say that? You get us kicked off. Then why are you doing it? I'm saying, just to reach people.
World domination.
She runs off.
Clearly doing for world domination.
Woman, Tess, and she was just really, really lovely, a lovely lady, and she was like a conductor in Bendigo because they got trams up there in Bendigo, and she was a conductor. 21 years or something. She's been serving the people of Bendigo. She loved her job, and just because of this bullshit, she's lost it. And she was a really charming lady, and it was great to have on. And so you meet some fantastic people at these things, you know.
That Andre, that guy you said that was the masseuse, Andre, was his father at the school, the primary school that my children went to. Because I know you. And he's going, I know you too. And I said, did you go to blah, blah, blah primary school? You were dad? And he thought, oh, yeah, that's right. So we used to hang out the front every now and then and have, long-winded conversations waiting for our kids to come out of detention, I guess. But anyway, yeah, it was good to see him. Yeah.
One of the teachers was a science teacher.
That's probably it.
Absolutely passionately loved his job and can't question the science. You can't, you just can't do it. And his wife won Employee of the Year in a retail store, gone. Both of them unemployed, wondering what to do. And then and right at the end, so we did all these amazing stories. It was getting dark. It was getting cold. People were still turning up. And then we were trying to wrap it up. And then this man turned up, and here he is here.
Uh-huh.
And he finished the show, and he told me he was sitting at home watching the show with his wife. He was really upset. His wife said, you got to go tell your story. That's his mum, who he claims died after getting the vaccine. And he'd had to have tumor taken out of his brain a few years ago, so he couldn't wear a mask or forever. Had the exemption that I think he wears it around his neck on this lanyard. And he said he's just been ostracized and he can't go in op shops and this. And what I'm thinking is in Melbourne, if you can't get in an op shop, the person doesn't know you unless you go there all the time. The person doesn't know you. In a country town, you're getting ostracized by people who know you because you go in all the time. Now these people go, no, you can't come in.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because it's like literally the tyranny of the experts, because the experts have got us to this point. And here we are, a caravan of, we're not experts necessarily, especially not in this field, a caravan of people just walking around saying, okay, if you want to come to us, you can tell us the truth. We haven't really got anything else other than that. And so on the people come. They're flocking there to be able to tell the truth. And then there's some sort of healing in that. They're not getting healing out of all these experts that are supposed to be healing you. They're getting healing out of just talking.
It's been a long,
and we're so not experts. No, it's not.
There's been a long criticism, probably since the Bush regime, that there's been that kind of expert takeover. And Laurie Anderson is a really great musician who I admire. She just did this fantastic song called "Experts," which kind of like mocks the idea. You can't do anything without an expert. Would invade a country? The expert says so. We invade the country. But these experts, I mean, how the hell are they going to? It's it's okay to go kill all.
And that's the criticism now too, isn't it? Oh, how do you know? Are you an expert? Are you an expert? Have you got a degree? Have you got whatever? These degrees are meaningless. Whitman made sure that we could all have a degree. What's a degree worth anymore?
No, it's even simpler than that. You're an expert if you agree with the official narrative. That actually makes you an expert.
Because they've been bought. They've been
bought automatic. For us. Bingo. You're an expert. Trundle them on. Oh, here's another expert who happens to agree with the last one and the one before and the one before that. And the one before that.
That makes you an expert.
Come on. I mean, seriously.
It's like a few things. They get you on the drum on the ABC or they get you on the project and you spout your expertism and it's just bullshit, mate. But
you still need those letters. You still need those letters after your name, don't you? Because that's the indoctrination. That's part of the indoctrination process to go and get those letters.
But where are the experts who don't agree? Because there's plenty who don't agree and they don't get a gig.
They don't get amplified. Their voice doesn't get amplified.
No, they get cancelled. Come on, I mean, there was that guy who was the vice president of Pfizer or something, who was jumping up and down, going crazy about this. The guy who invented the vaccine, for crying out loud, who deleted his Wikipedia reference. I mean, come on.
Dr. Roger Hopkinson.
Only experts who agree.
Michael? Taking a show back.
Just got to go back to Bendigo. So we took up a lot of professional equipment because we're very professional.
We're experts.
This is how we set it up.
I beat you, David. Just by fraction.
A laptop.
I'm meeting a pull-up bureau of the people.
And we just sit there and on these chairs that I don't know where the chairs came from. And
see, I'm still searching for that kebab. You see what I'm saying? I'm off somewhere near
Ballina, Shepparton, Warrnambool. I'm going to Ballarat next week. We'll talk about that in a sec. There's a lot of towns asking for us, so we're trying to figure out how to do it, how we can do it that we can afford to pay for Barry and ourselves. It's not that expensive, and we do it outside because we're not allowed inside. That's the point we're making. And then all we do is people come and share their stories. It's cathartic. It's really beautiful.
It's the voice of the people. That's what we did in Bendigo. It's the voice of the people.
If there's anywhere you want to do
it, unvetted, unchoreographed, the voice of the people.
No one's getting their thing trimmed, so you get to see
sound bites that you can rearrange to fit with your bullshit narrative.
None media wasn't a controlled narrative. This show would have been picked up by the ABC because it's just basically people talking, But they won't allow all these people. They don't allow them on the ABC. You'll know that.
Yeah.
And if there's anywhere that you want to do an outside broadcast, it's Bendigo. What a great place to choose to do an outside broadcast. It's all right, when the sun's still up, but as soon as the sun drops, like freezing.
I enjoyed the bikers. Thought the bikers were great, revving up.
Just when I started talking about
jumping on the fence with the loud hailer, egging them on and all that,
And I was talking to Dale at the time. I was talking to Dale, and he just started talking about the satanic presence, and then suddenly, all the way through that,
and all the audience, instead of the audience going, "That's terrible," they were all at the fence going, yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And
you should get down the peninsula too, Mornington Peninsula. I think you get a lot of people down there. You know, that'd be an interesting place to do. But
let's do Northcote. I reckon we should do it outside broadcast in Northcote. I reckon they'd really love us. All the woke, bureaucrats would come down.
Brunswick Street.
Right out Damien. We do it right outside the ABC.
I like it. I like
it. Let's do it. That's a front.
We take the ABC.
The other thing too about the country is, I think, because it's a bit cheaper to live, people who are really struggling go there. I don't know who this woman is. She let me take a picture. That's her son, beautiful son. But she says he's a little on the spectrum, so he's already suffering from ostracization and stuff. I can't say the word. And here she is. That's all I know about her. I just talk, but there's a beauty to it. These are real Australians trying to get through their lives. A lot of stuff against them, and then our government, for our health, comes down and goes, well, unless you jump through the hoops we set up, you can't work. Maybe you can't get your dole soon enough. You're going to be ostracized from your family and friends. Channel 7, I tried to get that video you sent me, Richard. Channel 7 is going, let's talk a show about what to do with your unvaccinated family Christmas.
Yeah. You know? And the ABC did very handy.
Turkey and roast them. You know?
Yeah. And the ABC did their own sniveling version of that as well. You know, the ABC did a sort of sniveling, bureaucratic kind of nicey, touchy-feely version of that as well. It was truly revolting, actually. But also, Michael, those people that you're talking about are exactly the people denied access to the mainstream media. They are not present in the mainstream media. They are invisible.
That's right.
The great unwashed.
People with a voice on the friggin' ABC? No way. They're invisible in the mainstream.
Yeah, they are.
But the great thing about social media,
humiliate the ABC.
Michael, his name Michael. Peter Campbell, thank you very much. His name's Michael. Unless you're talking about the boy. Oh, you're talking about me. Anyway, if that's Peter, I don't want to put that woman down at all. I don't want to talk too much about her story, but I was really moved by them. And I was really moved by a lot of people there and their defiance and their integrity. And today I was working with a nurse who'd been a nurse for 30 years. I said, come on the show. She worked with lung disease, chronic lung disease. Yeah. And she said in the last 2 years, they're getting blood clots all the time. They've never had blood clots, ever. They're getting them now all the time. And she was gone.
I wonder. Oh, I can't imagine what that could be, you know.
Thanks, Peter.
It escapes me right now. Yeah. Can't quite
I mentioned this to Damo yesterday in Bendigo. It's kind of hard to believe it's kind of happening. You know what I mean? That this is not, this is actually happening. You know what I mean? Like people are being poisoned and I don't know the exact percentage, but anecdotally we hear so much of it. And we don't hear, there's not many people coming on the show who are going, well, I had COVID and I nearly died. I was in ICU for like 4 weeks. I haven't met one single person who said that. And you bloody had
few people have been asking us because Damien and I are thinking, well, let's get someone on the show who's completely against us. We did have one person approach us once just before Damien came. And I said, well, come on the show. We'll have a debate. And the last minute he pulled out that he was just calling us all the names after the sun on all the things, but he wouldn't come on. So that's a really interesting thing. But it's hard to I know the other thing at the moment is what's that Jewish radio guy?
John Safran.
Yeah, John Safran apparently has been going down to the steps of Parliament, talking very nicely to people. And then he goes on his radio station and just basically shafts.
For me, he's got a show, is he? I didn't know he had a show at the moment. Right? Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we heard. I heard that from I heard that secondhand from a streamer. So we'll keep an eye out from there.
I thought it was pretty interesting today that the police were masked up again. They have been unmasked for the last week or so.
Yeah.
And I went up to one of them and I said to him, "What's going on? How come everyone's masked up again today?" And he said, yeah. No, it was from Command. Command said that they should be masked up today because it'd be such a big crowd that it'd be a dangerous event to be at. So yeah. But anyway, mate, I'm not here to debate you. He said, I'm not here to debate you about this. I said, no, I know you're not, but I just thought I'd ask anyway.
It's what David says too, that like they released the leash a little, and that's what's happened of late. Obviously, since we opened up. And then they retighten it. And obviously, Omnicron is here. That's going to be the excuse to retighten the leash.
Oh,
and
what
Daniel,
I think it was the cricket that did it, because they play the police played cricket.
They look too friendly.
Parliament. It went global. I shared it. It was a beautiful shot.
Beautiful.
And we all thought it was beautiful. And apparently they got roasted. And
don't think for a minute.
I brought that up with him. I said that to him today. The couple I was talking to today, were you playing cricket yesterday? He goes, yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day.
Daniel Andrews is watching all this. Believe me. He's monitoring what's going on.
Stop talking to me. You're freaking me out.
Daniel Andrews is monitoring optically what's going on.
This is unfair. Why are you doing this to me?
What do you think of the
weather? Where are my rubber bullets? Quick, give me my rubber bullets. Hell.
No, I
sorry, Richard, you couldn't get in.
I think it must be really hard for them because the crowd is so lovely. The one thing that just stuns me is we have a huge throng of people, and you saw them passing in Flinders Street Station, Damien. It was an endless crowd, and I walked through it for ages. It's so lovely in the crowd. It's so nice.
Great feeling.
It's like refugees from tyranny. It's like just a river of the Australian spirit. See, I'll take a note of that for if I get to do another speech.
The river of the Australian spirit.
Yeah. And I was.
Did you write the other stuff to say the other week too?
He gets all his best ideas on this show, by the way.
You never get to speak again, mate. Not after last time. Hey,
I wouldn't let you.
I wanted to issue a challenge. Actually, I wanted to issue a challenge. I wanted to issue a dare to all these bamboozled, poor lost souls. And I've had a few of them in my ear. Don't worry, who say, "Oh, the protest, it's all right-wing extremists and blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff." I wanted to issue a challenge to them. I thought about this today as we were on the march. And my challenge is come down. Come down and actually look for yourself. Come down and join in and have a look. Because
come down and join in the river of the Australian spirit.
In one of those big bubbles that Coca-Cola uses to be safe and just roll across the top.
It was.
Come on, show some guts. Show some guts. Show some investigative spirit. Let's see some investigative journalists. I dare you. I challenge you to come down and have a look yourself. All right.
Well, me and my mate Scott today, we ran to get to the front, and that was no small feat, especially because he smokes all the time, just trying to get to the front of the protest. And we got to the front because we wanted to go to the ABC, but that was clearly rejected. No one wanted to come with us, so we didn't do it. So then we stopped, but literally we were up the front, right? And so we watched the whole rally go past us for over an hour.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
We were standing still for over an hour, and a sea of people passed us without any breaks for over an hour.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It was just
exactly. We stood in Boak Street Mall and we looked up, up towards Southern Cross Station, and we couldn't see the end of the march in front of us. And then we turned around, we looked behind us, back towards Parliament House, and we couldn't see the end of the march back behind us either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could see people marching still down Burke Street from Flinders Street, down Swanson Street, and we could see it. Yeah.
So there it was. Look at that. So that's the Burke Street Mall. It's just going all the way down there, and the view was exactly the same the other way.
Who knew there were so many far-right extremists living in Melbourne? You know what I mean? Like, it's extraordinary.
Well, let's face it. I mean, anyone who isn't a far-right extremist looks like they're in the minority to me now.
Well, I actually think have one of those another angle. If there are any neo-Nazi people wanting to set up neo-Nazi things, come to Melbourne. I mean, we're all here. We're just waiting to be indoctrinated. Line us up. 700,000.
We're just looking for a leader. We just need a leader.
We have an army in a week.
Yeah.
I might have a bit of a shave and just leave a little bit of
there's
something on the front.
Good. That'll be interesting. Look for next week's show.
Yeah.
I think that's goat
Just a little bit more COVID theatre for everybody. You know what I mean?
Now, let's talk about Ballarat. Now,
where's Ballarat happening?
Well, first off, I think the speakers today were great, like the physical speakers. I still think the speakers have some music, but we're going to face the criticism because Damien and I are emceeing the Ballarat one, I believe. I think we've been offered the gig. I don't know have you signed the contract, Damien?
I don't think there's any money changing hands, so I'm not sure the signatures are going to be
waiting for it. No, hang on.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I have this on good authority that Damo's still in negotiating phase about the residuals. Okay, Damo's not signing on until this whole.
I'm still putting my grant application in. There's still a grant application in. I haven't heard back yet. I'm sure that money's going to come through though. The funding will come through for the rally down in Ballarat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're celebrating Eureka, so maybe that's an angle we could use.
That's a good.
We're celebrating Eureka because it's going to be something like.
There's one at Bendigo at our rally there. It was great.
So I believe that we're driving from the city. I don't know if it's a big convoy. I don't know what's happening, or we're just meeting in Ballarat. So at the moment, I don't know. We'll find out this week.
Yeah, right.
And that's where it's going to be. I think it's really exciting to take it to Ballarat. And
Michael, I've got a videographer who wants to come. I've got a videographer who wants to come and video the whole thing.
Great.
Yeah, I invited Tom V to come up and Tom Vogel to come up and film yesterday. He turned up, so I thought
he did.
Yeah, he did. He did a great job, and he's got an angle from the different side, and he's going to put it up on his thing, so we'll get it across. Tom's great, and he's getting much better at what he's doing. And
you got my better angle.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe made me look good.
Are you
sure
sure
about
lunch? Your better angle?
I was just about to talk you up to lunch. Now I'm so sure.
Yeah, by the way, I want to say, finally, Michael met David. That was a big event. And Damo met David. So,
I met David, yeah.
In person. What was your impression? Yep. We can just silence him now, and then you can speak.
It was a pleasure.
Well, yeah, it was lovely. It was really lovely.
It was a pleasure, pleasure.
It was like meeting a version of me who keeps peroxiding his hair. I don't want to say anything about that because you want to do it. That's fine. You're a grown man. Do what you want.
Michael and David are very what I picked up.
He offered me a swim in his dam, which I thought was a bit weird.
Brothers from another mother.
Yeah.
He said, if you want to jump in the dam, it's fine. Strip down your jocks, no problem.
Brothers to go nude. I don't know what that was about. What was that about, Damo?
Not sure. I didn't want to bring it up.
No, I didn't want it either, but he often
the champagne
This is what happens at compounds, you know? You go nude at compounds. I mean, I'm going to be honest about this. I was a little bit offended about one thing, you know? I offered you all Kool-Aid and you all refused, which I thought was very rude of you, you know?
You got champagne, whatever that champagne was.
What was that champagne wine?
What was the champagne?
Chamomile or something?
That was Kool-Aid.
Nah.
It was the vaccine.
He told me it was something from flour.
It's slow release Kool-Aid.
It was elderberry. Was it elderberry champagne or something?
Elderberry.
Elderflower. Elderflower. Technically, precisely elderflower.
Also, we should thank Catherine Cummings for Catherine Cummings.
From our elderflower tree.
Wasn't Catherine still drinking some of the champagne as we speak?
Still is. She took home her own bottle.
Very entertaining on the way back to the car.
She was indeed.
She was.
For a parliamentarian.
She's very Shakespearean in her articulation.
She's great.
Yeah, she is.
She's got a bit of fire in her belly. I like it.
You know, calls a spade a dick. Calls everything, you know,
I thought she was fantastic. I've never heard a politician speak so openly, and I thought she was really fantastic. And, you know, I mean, we should all support her.
She's great fun, great value to come along.
So yeah, she's great. She came all the way, and that's certainly
right into it,
where her mouth is or whatever.
Exactly.
Oh, and also want to thank Steve and his wife for taking us up there, bringing us back in the van of love.
Steve was great. He was
fantastic. He's great.
Yeah,
he's terrific. You know?
And last week he was great. He had his traditional Croatian shirt on. It was fantastic.
Yeah. He's got a place up there at Ballarat, hasn't he? Maybe we can
he's a man's man, but he's not scared of wearing gay-looking clothes.
True. Well, he's European.
Someone's done construction all his life. That shows a lot of strength of character.
But the only one that was still being paid was Catherine. A parliamentarian still getting paid a wage to go up there, whereas the rest of us, well...
Elderflower.
Cafe lockdown right here.
It was elderflower.
Elderflower.
Elderflower. That was it.
Yeah. And you had running water. I was really pleased. I was really pleased, bro.
Well, that was just for you. Yeah, we imported that. That was just for you. Yeah.
Dug a well.
I'm glad you were impressed because the donkeys had a hell of a time hauling that stuff in. You know?
And I just want to let
electricity.
the COVID police know.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, I'll let the COVID police know that we actually went into a cafe in Bendigo and they didn't ask us for our passports and they served us coffee. So I'm just saying, you want to maybe get down there and tighten things up a little bit, hey?
Tighten the screws.
I actually
don't give them any ideas.
Go. Do what had to be done. I don't have the princess walking around eating kebabs. Now, David, tell us the interesting story about the house prices in your area and how they're going.
Well, they've gone completely nuts. Right. Completely and absolutely nuts because of all the people trying to flee Melbourne. You know, I mean, they've had 2 years of hell in Melbourne. It hasn't been pleasant for anybody anywhere, obviously, but they've had 2 years of hell in Melbourne. Clearly, I can't imagine why. You know, and there's a place, you know, down the road that roughly a year ago, a bit over a year ago, let's call it roughly a year ago, sold for 600 grand, which at the time I thought was completely bonkers, off the charts, is now just been sold for $1.6 million.
Wow.
1 year.
Really? I sold. I was going to put a bid in. I didn't know it had already been sold.
Mate, go right aheed. But the whisper around locally is it's a done deal. But go ahead, mate.
Right. I'll come in with 1.7 then.
Well, you might have to up the ante, mate. Yeah, you might have to up the ante. You know?
Because I want to be your neighbour. The last thing I do is going to be your neighbour.
You're going to have to smash that one out.
Wouldn't mind a bit more of that elderberry champagne, my friend. Got to be.
I've got a bigger beer.
Your place is bigger. Does that make you a millionaire?
The yappies. I could do it. You know?
Now, guys, I just want to know, can I get your feedback? Can I get some serious feedback? What do you think of my fake vaccine passport?
Ooh.
Gonna work. Very nice. The name's not very convincing. The name's not very convincing.
That's fake.
I
never knew.
Even see, I've taken a few years off. Born 1975. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Open up a few more options for myself.
45 again.
Have another look, my friends. Have another look.
Typical actor.
Yeah. It's all about me.
Well, we didn't want to say.
Anyway, more about my career.
What's going on?
Yes. Go ahead.
Nothing. Just you guys every Saturday night. This is the downward slide.
Oh, mate, come on. It could be worse. It could be worse.
No, this is
one of you could be beautiful at least.
Oh, mate,
even in the neighbours' green room, there's some beauty around me, but here, nothing.
And I've got a play going on in Perth that people are putting on, and I'm just thinking neither of them have actually Googled my current activities. Otherwise, they're going, "Oh my god!" I can't wait to some critic comes.
I know that experience.
Well, I've had it a couple of times myself. I don't want to blow my own horn, but I'm something of an expert in cancel culture, you know, on the receiving end.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, you probably guarantee you get an audience, though, Michael. It probably means you'll get an audience. That'll be the difference. Yeah, everyone will hate it, but everyone will go to it.
Embrace controversialness. You know,
it's terrible. That place horrible. Yeah, I know. I just
can't
get in. It's fully sold out.
Oh, the other thing too. This is the other thing I think we'll wrap up with.
Yep.
We have a suggestion that we should do something for New Year's Eve. It's like the unvaxxed. And now the vaccinated are more than welcome, but it's for the unvaxxed. And there is a suggestion of doing a country music sort of festival. We actually have someone who owns a vineyard where we could do it. It's a bit of a drive from the city, but it could be really, really wonderful and great. And it's just the counterculture starts. I mean, you've chucked us out of society.
I know people who do those kind of like, you know, outdoor raves and things like that. So let's talk after the show. You know, I know a lot of people have got sound systems and all that shit. So let's have a chat.
Yeah, and just keeping it simple, but I think getting a lot of people down there for all sorts of things. And it's just basically
great idea.
Like the march. It's just this loving.
Yeah. No apartheid. No apartheid New Year's Eve.
No,
illicit drugs, but not mandated drugs.
Yeah, that's right. They've cut us out of society, so we build our own. Fuck them.
Yeah.
We build our own. See you later.
That's right.
Off.
Bye.
That's right. And we don't need to check anything because we all know we're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, keeps it simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, Dan. So if you want to lock us down again, you better do it before we do that. Oh.
Yeah, with your
don't give him ideas, mate.
Dan Andrews loves this show. It's one of his, it's like one of his guilty pleasures. Guilty pleasures.
I think what might annoy him is we might be the vaccinated people's favorite unvaccinated show. So let's just do something here. Hands up, who's not vaccinated?
Yeah, you got to do it like that.
What I said? Hands
up,
up,
be like that.
Hands up, who's not vaccinated.
Where am I? Down there.
Oh, we've got to do the fascist one. There it goes.
Was it that?
So yes, so we're not. We're in. Hail, hi. Yeah.
But somewhere, can you think that somewhere in that regime, someone said, "We'll stop saying hello, and we'll do this instead." Hail. Okay? Do you think that'll catch on? No, don't be. Suddenly, bang! Oh man,
the gay Nazi. Hail.
Whose idea was this?
Well, there's benefits to being it. I mean, if anyone's annoying you, go, do you want me to breathe on you? Do you? I can. Come closer.
Everyone hugged you. We all shook your hand, mate. So we've all got the COVID antibodies, mate. So
let me tell you, I've got a pretty big viral load going on in here.
I feel so sick. I feel terrible.
There's a lot of viral load hanging down the back of my nose.
Oh yeah. You can feel it bubbling up past eyeballs. The viral load's bubbling up.
How's your load, mate?
My load's great, mate.
Unvaccinated and worth quite a bit of money, actually.
Bitcoin, mate. It's the new Bitcoin.
Sperm, mate. You know,
you'd have to say it.
Get a load of that on your crypto exchange. Here it comes. Yes.
I don't know why they say we talk at the same time. I've got no idea.
Like crazy. I don't know what they're talking about.
And how can they not like it?
Thousands and like 10s and 20, 40, 50,000 COVID cases if it, it's from just the March before, let alone this March. So yeah.
But do you know?
There's the other possibility, and that might be that they're lying about everything, and the whole thing's fucking bullshit. I mean, I'm just a crazy idea. So
no, but CAF. You know how CAF had their 120 people meeting last week as a counter protest against us. Well, 2 or 3 of them have gone down with a case of COVID. Cooties. So what are they? The superior spreaders?
The superior spreaders.
That's probably linked to white supremacy, because if they're superior spreaders, I mean, I feel some sort of supremacy.
Like a double operation going on here. It's wheels within wheels,
There's wheels. There's always wheels within wheels.
They had a country in Western Night where apparently it was only vaccinated there. It was for the old, and they've all got it. It's spread like crazy, and they don't know how.
Yeah, and there's some other things. You read out something, Michael, on yesterday, I think, on, you did this report during the day where you read this story about some woman, it was in The Age or something, or ABC.
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious. I watched that. That was absolutely, unbelievable. Load of bullshit.
Oh, it was just bullshit. Oh, my God, it was just such bullshit. All the girls were basically going this was the crux of the story.
Yeah.
They're going to think we're the second-tiered people. They're going to think we're the Jews. What are we doing? That was it.
Yeah.
They'd all been in a restaurant. Apparently, what I heard now, they actually were in their own separate room. They weren't in the main restaurant. They were in their own separate room.
Humanically sealed.
And they all got it. I don't know how they got it.
And then Omicron came along and wiped us all out anyway. I mean,
and here comes Omicron.
What a tragedy.
They're clearly. I'm going to say it right here. They're going to try and do this for the whole decade. I got a feeling. Maybe.
Yeah. Hey, can I say too?
Shit on all this decade.
Before we go, can we just talk a little bit of celebrating here? Like last week, maybe 500,000 people, maybe slightly less, slightly more. Who knows? Anyway, massive. Actually, the biggest ever rally of its kind in Australia until today, which was bigger.
Boom.
Oh, I love it. My people on my Facebook feed are just going to love that message. Anyway, and all the artists are going to just be celebrating me on that one. And I can't wait to post it.
And not only that, Damien, but next week where it could be even bigger, and it's in Ballarat, where it could be a big crowd. You and I have the keys to the stage. If you want to perform in front of hundreds of thousands of people, it's called Kiss Damien and Michael's Asses.
Plural asses.
Kiss our ass, and we'll let you on stage, and you could be an artist.
But the other thing, the other great news.
Careful, guys. You'll turn into the Harvey Weinsteins of the resistance, okay? Of the corona resistance, okay? I see where this is a slippery slope.
I see where it's going.
I see where this leads. Don't worry. I'm standing right behind you. That when you fall, I'm right behind you to take over.
You can't cancel the cancel.
As I'm looking for my kebab. You're right.
That's right. Yeah, look, just muscling. Yeah, I can't believe you fell for that one, mate.
I've got to walk back to Castlemaine for a kebab.
That old one. Come on, mate. You've been on the stage. You fell for that.
Last distances in the country.
Do you think this is possible? Now, Days of Our Lives, apparently a few years ago, Days of Our Lives wanted to bring an actress back that they'd killed off, right?
Yep.
And they didn't know what to do, and they said, we want it back on. And so someone at the writers' table said, why don't we pretend the whole last year and a half has been a dream, and then she's woken from a coma and we'll bring it back on. And they said, the audience won't buy it. They'll just go, bullshit. They didn't have one complaint.
Yeah, of course.
No one thing. I reckon the same writers were sitting there with Bill Gates going, how about this? How about we remarket the flu, give it a new name, and then you go from there?
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
We'll just keep giving it new names.
Omicron.
Tonight's show has been brought to you by Omicron.
I didn't want to just gloat about the fact that this had been some of the biggest rallies in Australian history ever. I'm going to say last week we put so much pressure on Andrew's cabinet that 5 of them have come out to say that they will not be recontesting the next election. 5 of them within 48 hours. Now, there's been an even bigger group of protesters on the weekend now today. So what will happen next week? Oh, I can't wait to see. It'll be interesting. Maybe we'll hate it because he'll just pass this horrible bill and we'll all be shot at.
But that's it. Or if you're a politician, I know we can't affect Dan. Dan, you're a psychopath. I don't mean to put you down. It's not your fault, man. You just know. Anyway, but the other politicians who are nuts, look out of your parliamentary house. Look at those numbers. I know you'll call them fascists and things, but what they are is voters. A lot of people voted for you, and they're not going to vote for you if you toss their democracy away. So you can either be a villain, because once it goes through, we're just going to put you up and go, yep, these voted to get democracy away. Shame the hell out of you. Or you can go, screw Dan, I'm going to vote for democracy and freedom and be the hero of the crowd. I think that's a good deal. You should think about it.
Or is it more
the Australian spirit?
Or Michael, is it more a case of, hang on, 700,000 people on the street, really, really, really angry for now building weeks and weeks and weeks in a row. Really I just want to go down the shops in Mirralbark and buy a litre of milk. Is that suddenly an issue? I mean,
you could get embroiled in a vigorous conversation. Yeah,
I don't want to debate. That's what the cop said.
I bet they don't.
Seriously, I would be.
Hey, so I think the ABC is a good idea. And like that fellow suggested today,
St. Vincent's.
We could set up like a kind of alternative ABC on their doorstep. You know what I mean? Like,
here we are, the real news.
Yeah, the voice of
the unwashed news
outside the ABC here.
Can you imagine?
Yes. The Politburo.
Fucking Herman Hesse in the foreground there.
I told you they were Nazis.
I know. Send him in. Wipe the place out.
Oh, my God. That's a great idea. hey, we got the Goat Show coming up next Saturday. We've got to look for. Oh, we're doing Ballarat. Okay, well, we've got a. Well,
no,
next,
but
the ABC will still be there.
Saturday.
I think the funding's going to hold out for a couple more weeks yet.
I think
But
so.
we can't do this.
That's a shame.
Maybe we should do an earlier Goat Show somewhere else, like Thursday, because we can't do Saturday. Maybe we could do Thursday outside the ABC. Could be a lot of fun.
I like it. I like it.
We should definitely call the ABC.
Oh, definitely. We've got to do it.
Set up on the steps,
Yeah,
mate.
great.
But they'll
We're
move
letting
us on.
you know.
You know they'll move us on. They will move us on.
We're letting you on. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. We'll just
Even
keep
if
moving
they move on,
further
you know,
away.
We can invite some of their toadies out from in the building. You know, invite them. I mean, you know, fair's fair. We can invite them on the show.
Well, that was the whole idea. It was like, you don't want to waste.
even know whatever toadies there are inside the building, but we can invite them on. You know, toady 1, toady 2, operative 1, operative 2, whatever. We can invite them on. You know, fair's fair.
It doesn't matter which one it is because they all say the same thing anyway, so it's not really going to matter who comes
well,
up.
they're all clones, aren't they? Apparently, they don't have names anymore. They just have batch numbers because they're all clones anyway. You know.
Yeah. Like Brave New World.
Yeah,
Aldous
that's
Huxley.
right.
Yeah.
There it is.
Right here. You know, yeah. Tonight's show features BT127Y.
Anyway, that's
bananas. Yeah, let's get the bananas out. We want to talk to the bananas. Get more sense out of them than anybody else, you know.
Get someone to dress up and come down and talk to us.
Do they still exist?
Someone will do it. That means that's
we certainly haven't solved the talking over each other problem this show, that's for sure.
Nah, it's getting worse. Getting worse. Shouldn't have brought it up.
I think it's good. I think for mature adults, we handle it. I mean, Richard, what would you prefer us go? Richard, what did you think about the most?
Yeah, I think.
I see. Yeah. Well, I was talking to my colleague BT1274756, and she thought that it was disgusting.
Well, I've just taken my 25th booster. I didn't need to, but I thought I'm getting prepared.
Oh, that's lovely, darling. Oh, that's so fabulous. Oh,
I'm me now, then I shake. My eyes swim.
My 25th booster now, I'm the only vaccinated person in the country.
That's
right. No one else has had 25.
I can't do anything.
By default, might make you Prime Minister.
I'm the only one with status, vaccination status. I love it how they call it status.
Status.
Oh,
they love it.
They love status, don't they? Oh,
you know, there's another video doing the rounds. There's another video doing the rounds this week, and it was like Australia has bought enough vaccinations to give everyone like 8 or 9 boosters or something. Did you see that video?
14.
14, there it is.
But I'm really concerned with the COVID police turning up at Michael's place. I mean, seriously, the COVID police. Like, what? Here we are having some jokes, having some laughs. Yeah, sure. You don't like it? Turn it off. Turn it off by all means. But the COVID police, they come over to your house to knock on your door to see what you're doing.
Let's just get them on the show. You know, next Thursday at the ABC, let's invite them on.
I love that. Yeah,
get them down. We'll be in the show. There you go.
We're in the show.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody loves a bit of showbiz. Everybody wants to be on camera.
Covey 1 and Covey 2 are coming to talk to us after the bananas.
Christmas present for the child.
We've got a whole bunch of bananas today.
Rip down and throw in the back of the paddy wagon. Silent night.
Off the Mickleham. Straight to Mickleham.
Off the Mickleham.
Straight to Mickleham.
Dear me.
It'd be interesting to be the first one there.
Well, I think you're going to be, mate.
If you think so, Michael. If you think so.
They said, what have you done? I'm thinking, well, I think I've done everything.
How long have you got?
I wonder if I'll get in with this pass. Do you reckon I'll get in when I show them that?
What?
Right.
Look at this. Right. I could have made you one, Michael. I could have made you one. I could have.
No. There you go. I'm not going to do it.
Couldn't get in.
I've got Santa Claus behind me. Nazi Santa Claus.
Nazi Santa, yeah.
Nazi Santa. Yeah.
Well, what Santa's here?
He was determined to see me do it. He was like, look at me. He goes, I know him. And he's waving. And I did the fish.
Nice.
It's actually quite a moment, actually, to be honest.
The fist is actually a left thing. It's all right. You know? Just don't put your hand out.
Yeah. Don't get a cramp in your fingers at that particular moment.
When you're waving to your friends or whatever. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Get you in the world of trouble.
I'm going to wrap it up because I'm going to
gongers.
Try find someone, a kind vaccinated person, to go in the store and buy me an ice cream. I'm going to sit out and go.
Damo, can you buy him a friggin' ice cream? He's been doing this show. He just wants the bloody ice cream.
Yeah,
the only thing that will let me down is when they see 1975. They'll say, "Come on, mate." 1975.
I believe you're 45.
You weren't born before the 80s, buddy.
Who, me?
No, me. I'm talking myself up.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm chatting up. All these women are talking to me. I'm thinking, wow, you look attractive. They go, I'm a great grandmother. Going, you're a great grandmother. Because of your age, you're going, oh, right.
Oh, well, at least you're still attracted to your demographic. That often doesn't happen for the male. That often doesn't happen for the male.
The crowds are wonderful. The crowds are so
Richard.
supportive.
They are.
Did you get that today? The crowds are so supportive. Did anyone
So
notice?
fantastic.
Richard?
Fantastic.
David?
What's that?
Did anyone notice you from this goat show? Did anyone say
A lot.
absolutely, yeah.
Really?
They definitely, yeah. People coming up taking photos and, brought Frank Housen up. That was great. And he had a good time.
No, they absolutely did. I had to dodge rotting tomatoes, rotten fruit, on the long occasion. All sorts of crap in my direction, It was great.
It was really
thanks, guys. Thanks for that. I really needed that.
So lovely. No, really, really lovely.
No, it was great in Bendigo. And Ballarat this week.
There's a huge portion of Melbourne people that are just still wonderful. And that's why we were voted the best city, the most livable city. It's not the weather, it's not the buildings, it's the people.
The people.
That's
I heard a story today that we won it again this year. No, I couldn't.
I have a feeling that might be rigged.
Someone making it up?
Well,
Dan Andrews told me that. Dan Andrews.
No, Damo's right. Damo's right. But there was only 3 judges.
Yeah.
Now Stalin and Hitler.
We won it again this year.
Anyway,
sorry.
Wrap it up.
David, I ran over top.
Got a song to go out with?
And that's it. No, I'm going to go out with what I started with. That's it, gentlemen. Thank you for coming on. It's been a very enlightening night.
Thanks for having us.
I wish you well. My heart goes to you.
Yes. We'll be on again when the next round of arts grants come on through. Thank you very much.
You're saying something about art grants? Maybe we should. We should apply for an arts grant. 4 white mature males wanting money to take the piss out of the state.
Yeah,
it's good.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah. Coming our way.
We'll
just
cascades of cash.
We want $2 million.
$2 million. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's and a van each. Want a van each.
So we can go up the Hume Highway and go to Sydney if he opens it up on the 15th of December.
And a room at the Windsor when we sleep out on the.
If you want to get rid of us, give us $10 million and we'll move the whole. Give us $10 million. We'll move the whole show to Sydney.
We can imagine us sleeping at the Windsor when everyone's sleeping out on the steps. We're sleeping over in the Windsor. The boys are here. They're over there. They haven't got a room in the Windsor.
Yeah, well, Monday night was a big party.
No one ever listens to the fucking gong. It just goes off and then we just go off talking again. I'm going to go. Good night, gentlemen. See you next week. It's going to be a great week.
Yes.
Tuesday, that's when they vote for the bill. Don't fuck us, politicians.
Surround them.
Surround them and let's hope that it's confounded. And I think it might be.
Listen to your soul. Don't sell out what's beautiful.
No, because it'd be hard to hate them any more than we already do. So please, there's not much room left.
That's right.
You have to squeeze the last drops of hate out.
Yeah. Okay,
not easy.
Good night, guys.